What'd you guys do?
responses back in high echo tone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, well, sorry.
Anyways, did you know that yesterday was the celebration of the anniversary of when Michelangelo had finished the Sistine Chapel and Pope Julius opened it to the public? And the first thing Pope Julius said after he saw the ceiling was, "Michael, I said I want it off-white."
But
That's the
okay.
best I can do.
So is that other part true about Michelangelo?
Anyways, you're still there.
Yes. Are you there?
Sorry about that, but I couldn't resist a bad joke, or I heard one.
Okay. Was the other part true about this being the anniversary?
I didn't even hear the last word you just said.
Oh.
I was just trying to help you fill in some time. I think you're doing a great job. I'm a devout atheist here in Canada.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling. See you later. Wow. I sure am glad we moved out of Dillahunty International Studios to this professional one.
Yeah. Well, did you happen to see the Keith Olbermann episode the other night? Keith wasn't on. And I forget the name of the guy that co-hosted or that hosted in his stead.
Is it Lawrence O'Donnell?
Yeah, I think so.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He used to be a TV writer, and he has a bit part as the lawyer in Big Love.
Ah, okay.
And he's a hilarious political commentator, I think. Yeah. But anyway.
Hey, anyway, he ran a story about some preachers, including our beloved Pat Robertson, who's saying that the Halloween candy is possessed.
Oh, yes. Okay, go on.
And so, these sneaky little devils get into the Halloween candy, and these children who think this is an innocuous celebration of whatever, they're actually being exposed to demonic forces through the Halloween candy.
The candy is how they get them, huh?
Yeah.
Does it have microchips?
Well, somebody pointed out that, if the demons were really smart, they wouldn't get into the Halloween candy. They'd wait and get into the Christmas candy.
That's true.
They won't be looking for that.
Yeah, right.
I just lost my mic.
You can see them coming a mile away. Yeah. But I forgot to mention when we were talking about trick-or-treating earlier that one of the fun activities that we got after trick-or-treating was going through the candy and finding all the ones that had a little Bible sticker taped to them.
Ah.
So we got like a bunch of stuff from Acts, and then we got, what else did we get? First John. I know we got God so loved the world, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And we also, I don't know, we got a bunch of variations on that theme. And none of them really come right out and say, Halloween is an evil holiday and you're being led straight to hell.
Yeah.
They just seem to think that Halloween is a good time to preach. And I guess they should be grateful that they didn't just get, a tract and no candy. Although, one of the lame Bible stickers was attached to goldfish. So, a little bag of goldfish. So it's
so not the individual goldfish.
So it's like, if you're trying to win hearts and souls, I'll give you a tip. Give the good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I thought that was an interesting segment on there, listening to them rail against Halloween candy. And I just thought it was the sugar buzz.
Okay.
Now, when you said you were going through the candy, I thought you were going through to find the razor blades.
No, I don't believe in that.
No, that's actually...
Until I see evidence of it.
Yeah, there's actually never been a case where people hid razor blades in apples and stuff.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
And I guess there were... this is our little foray into critical thinking here. Mm-hmm. There have been a couple of instances where kids were allegedly poisoned, either with some kind of drug or something,
but then it was
or
like
a poison.
By their own family.
Yeah,
right?
It turned out it wasn't a stranger that gave them the Halloween candy with this stuff in it. It was their own parents.
Or
a relative.
Or other relatives.
Yeah, so, they've never had a case where a kid was poisoned by someone.
Okay, and really, if you're going to reach that level of paranoia, you may as well just, lock your kids in the cellar all the time.
Yeah. But see, when you live in a superstitious world, it's a dark and scary place.
Yes, it is. Okay, Steve in Orlando, Florida, are you there, and can you hear us okay? Steve. We got Rickrolled.
Never been rickrolled. Whatever.
I love that. I've never actually been Rickrolled before. Since we have no callers, we can like explain Rickrolling to our less text-heavy.
By all means, go ahead.
No, it's kind of lame actually.
It is
it's
really.
An internet meme where you pretend that there's a video that's like a cool video, and then it goes to this cheesy '80s song. Okay, so let's see. So also in blogging news this week. You know that thread we did a while back where Kent Hovind went to prison for tax fraud?
Yeah.
And it became our thread that wouldn't die because Christians keep stumbling on it months and years after the fact and saying, oh, you guys are being so horribly mean to poor Kent Hovind.
Yeah.
So we got another message which came in which took like a different tact. The person said, hey, I'm an atheist, and I agree that Kent Hovind deserved to go to prison, but it's really mean of you guys to make fun of him. It's, in fact, I think that subjecting the poor guy to ridicule and abuse is worse than going to prison. So it's another case of sort of, dealing with offensiveness that I ran into recently. And I don't know about you. Personally, if somebody gave me the choice of being put in a circle and pointed at and insulted or going to jail for several years for tax fraud, I would take the ridicule.
Yeah, I think we covered that in kindergarten where we learned the sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah. I think people overestimate the seriousness of being mocked. Yes, I understand that words can also hurt, and they do, and, especially for young kids, it's difficult. But, Kent Hovind is a grown-up, and if it were morally wrong to make fun of people who deserve it, then I think Jon Stewart would be the most evil person on the planet.
Yeah, but he's got good ratings, and he's funny as hell.
Yeah. And, we only wish we could be, like, that popular. But I don't know. I feel like making fun of somebody like you mentioned before, anti-vaccination people is healthy, and it's even constructive.
Well, okay, since we're on the anti-vaxxer thing again, this is like a pet peeve. You get the people who refuse vaccination, and then they say, oh, but I'm not eating sugar or cheese or corn syrup, and I've cut out milk products, therefore I never get sick. Okay,
right.
Not eating milk, sugar, cheese, whatever thing is not a magic curtain that falls down and protects you from infectious disease. Okay, you can't boost your immune system by taking some herb or whatever and magically ward off the flu. Mm-hmm. If you want to magically ward off the flu, get your flu shot.
Yeah.
Because that will work.
I'm hesitant to read this message from the studio because it would give some indication of how to make the show more annoying to our callers. But apparently we're experiencing sort of the equivalent of a denial of service attack, and that's why we're having so many problems keeping calls on the line.
Okay.
But we've now got Brian from Los Angeles on the line. So are you there, Brian?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. I wanted to call to talk about my experience in a Catholic high school growing up.
Uh-huh.
And just the fact that even though it was a Catholic private high school, in our biology class, we were taught the theory of evolution, and it was presented as straight science, no mention of any kind of intelligent designer or anything at all. It was just basically, I think, the kind of science class you would get in a public education setting. And so
it's actually it's probably better than the coverage that evolution.
Education, I know that whenever it gets covered in, like, on your show or in an atheist blog, connotation, and I just wanted to say that that isn't always the case.